I mean, it is a gift and a curse because if it gave me the time away from the group of friends that I had and the lifestyle that I had to sit down and put something together to where I have the number of people already paying attention to what I'm saying and what I'm doing that I do now, that's fine. But for me to have to go through the stuff that I had to go through because somebody wasn't man enough to take their own charge for actions that they were a part of or that they did on their own free will, that's something that I'm highly against, and I don't believe that anybody who can't stand up and be a man for whatever they've done,
the
in
mistakes
their own life,
that they made,
the mistakes that they've made and the decisions that they made, should never project that onto somebody else and just pass the buck and say, oh, I'll work with you guys and help you get some other people in trouble to help me get out of trouble. And that's where it proves that the justice system is a money game, because it's more important to the police to keep arresting people, new people, than it is to keep the old people in jail. You got people like Nicky Barnes and stuff who did, enough in their own time to stay in jail for life. But it comes to a point where they can finally turn that around and just get one other person locked up, and they can be let out and put on witness protection, for the rest of their life. And that's, to me, is saying that you did something that's just as bad or worse than the next person, but as long as you help me get them in trouble and help us out with a new arrest, we'll cut you a deal and let you out. That shit doesn't sound anywhere close to making sense to me at all. So... but I'll take the gift and the curse the way it is, and we can only just play the cards the way they deal them to us.
How long has knowledge is hip-hop been at this, you may ask?
Right now I'm 28. When I was 16, I did do, I would say, 3 to 5 tracks, max. But only 2 of them were the tracks that I was showing to people from then on, and only 2 of those tracks have survived from CD or whatever from like 2000, back then or even before. And then when it gets to a point where I did start back up in 2006, so from 2006 to now, it's been 5 years. Now with the SOCOM mic, when I did the first 15 CDs, that was in 2006, the end of 2006, I'd probably put together 2. And then in 2007, I probably put together 3. In 2008, I did 10. Damn. And I realized in 2008...
A workhorse you are.
Right. When I did 10 CDs in 1 year, and I wasn't where I thought that I should be after that, I realized that maybe quality is better than quantity. So that's when I started to sit down and say, let me just try to pick out my best shit and take that and get it recorded at a quality that people take seriously, where it's more than just the people who support me for me and then the people who support what I'm saying because it's real, but there's some people who will support your shit just because other people they know are listening to it and it sounds like it's professional. But one thing that I think that my confidence kind of maybe was not as good for was that I was a firm believer ever since I started that every single song I finished should be released. Whether it was released by itself, posted online for people to listen to, whether it was included in a CD that I was dropping for people to hear, or if I was just burning a single for people to rock or whatever. But now I'm at a point where I feel like I should take myself serious enough to weed through my songs when I'm doing them and really just sit and say, this song is not better than this many of my other songs, so I shouldn't release it now.
It's just new.
I feel like, right, it's just new. But I feel like I should be forcing myself to only release the better songs that are coming out, because I have probably over 500 songs. So when it comes down to those type of numbers, you could start to be picky and say, the people who are listening to me only deserve to hear the best shit. They don't deserve to be filtering through and hearing every single thought that ever came to my mind. I'm not that important. I feel like it should be focused on the most important or the most well put or just the best song overall. That type of shit. And I feel like that type of stuff elevates me better when people can only pick from top tier songs rather than, I mean, not that I think that there's anything wrong with any of the songs that I released, but as time has gone by and my CDs have gotten better, the recording quality has gotten better, my lyrics have gotten better, I don't know if I'm the only
time to remaster.
I don't know if I'm the only artist to have done this, but I start going back and unreleasing CDs. So to the point where if you were one of the people who was sticking around and supporting from the beginning and you ended up getting one of them CDs back then, you might be the only person who's going to get it, because at this point those CDs are unreleased, those tracks are never coming back out unless I use the lyrics in another track or unless I think it was a good enough song to re-record at a new quality or something like that. Other than that, those projects as a whole are being unreleased. I just unreleased God of War 2.
Yeah.
And so if anybody who didn't already have God of War 2, it's not available online for download anymore. It's not it's not available for.
God, I hope I have it.
You don't have it in here, but I do. I have 5 of them at the house. I will make sure that you get a copy. But for the most part,
God of War 3. That's
the
some
average
shit right
people
there.
will not be have God of War 2. So that's just a heads up that if you're interested in something that's out or something that's older that you feel like it's still hot, grab it and keep a hold of it, because at some point I'm going to be unreleasing my older material while I'm still able to do that.
Okay, right on. So actually, if they go to knowledgeishiphop.com, they can get a hold of you via Facebook.
Right, it has a link on the side, more of me, and also across the top on the front page it has links to MySpaces, Facebooks, Reverb, Nation, Twitter, every single thing you can think of it has a link to on there, any kind of social networking site. And it also has a downloads page where you can get downloads of not only every single one of my CDs, also everybody else's mixtape that I've been featured on. And there's also a thing in there that says DMV, which is the Downloadable Music Vault, also stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So for the most part, it's other artists from DC, Maryland, and Virginia who I got a hold of links to their mixtape, and I feature them on the site as well. Because I don't think that it's just something for me. Right. I think that it's something for all independent artists deserve just as much of a shot as the next guy. Even if their music doesn't have the same message that I have, I still will feature them on my site because I feel like their message is different, but their struggle and their mission is the same.